not denizens. Parade is here, aka the bringer of rain, aka father of the sea and sun, aka king of the core. And today I am here with my illustrious co-host, the host of the Celebration Cantina, Uncle Sheev on twitch.tv, aka the Wizard of Oscars. He is unlimited. Eli from the Fan Awakens. How are you today, sir?
I am excellent. Thank you for bringing that energy today, my friend. You know what? I gotta sort of apologize to Neil Nation. I didn't have blue today, but this is a dark blue. Ahsoka's got. She doesn't have the same. She ain't Neil, but
she's not Neil.
There's still blue in there. So
yeah,
it's the penultimate episode. Things are getting a little dark. We just had to tone it. We had to tone it down.
Tone it down.
Bit.
I feel that. We're all representing Neil Nation within our hearts. We don't have to always rock it, but I'm glad it was brought up regardless. Thank you so much for tuning in, for everyone tuning in to the podcast. We are going to be talking about Skeleton Crew, episode 7. We only have one more, less than a week actually, until the final episode, the season finale actually. Someone brought that up online. This is season finale, not like the end of the Skeleton Crew at all. So crossing our fingers for season 2. But I wanted to talk to you today about it. But before we do, we have to do some housekeeping to keep these lights on, to keep the internet going, to keep the cameras rolling. You can follow us here at the reigncore YouTube channel, the reigncore Instagram, where I am actually posting more. I keep saying we're going to post more. I'm actually posting more in 2025. We're going to be doing more giveaways, doing more videos. Reigncore Etsy, the stickers are live. You can get cool stickers like the reigncore logo sticker, like I have here on my bottle. Eli has the Critter Collective sticker of the Volp text from the sequels. I forget, Eli, every time I show off my bottle, I forget. I actually have the Loth Cat on my water
bottle. You go.
It's been there the whole time, but I've just been hiding it until launch.
We're launched the Loth Cat is just, it's lurking there, ready.
It's adorable. And behind the scenes for anyone who's watching this episode of Skeleton Crew, we're going to try to do Neil stickers in the same art style by my niece, who's a great artist. We might drop it on a shirt. Who knows? We might have Skeleton Crew shirts coming. Who knows? And you can find those shirts on reigncoreclothing.com. But Eli, you also have stuff that you can promote, and I would love to know where people can find that.
You know what? I'm going to need that Neil pack for sure. That's a given. You can find me at a lot of places. You can find me at thefanawakens.com. You can also find me at the Fan Awakens YouTube, which we have a video in the can. We have a video coming out, Celebration Cantina. It'll be published this weekend. So at the time of, it'll be up. And it's super exciting. But if you guys want to know more, check out that episode. We talk a lot about going to Celebration Japan this year. So that's where you can find me.
I have a countdown now on my phone, and it says 92 days till I fly out to Japan. Not just Celebration.
Double digits. That's crazy.
we're right there, and it was a fun time recording it, and I know we have more planned for the Celebration Cantina on the Fan Awakens channel, so please follow there, follow here, add comments, because we're going to be doing Q&As from the comment section. I'll probably drop in a comment, but yeah, it's a good time. So do that. Follow this wonderful young man. But we are going to talk about Skeleton Crew episode 7. We're going to be in so much trouble. Directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who's done Minari. Eli was telling me Minari's great. I actually will write that down and add that to my 2024 watch list. Oh, another shameless plug.
Oh, 2025.
Oh, 2025. 2025 watch list. But we have Letterboxd now. If you guys want to friend us, follow us there and see what we're watching. Yep. I think I'm just Parade Rainer on there. What's yours? Are you just
Fan Awakens?
Fan Awakens. So you can find what Eli's watching. You find me watching on Letterboxd. It's a cool little browser thing. But he also directed Twisters. I haven't seen Twisters. I love Twister 1, but Eli likes that.
Dug it.
And some episodes of The Mando. And I didn't check. I think is it still Mick Giacchino doing the soundtrack? I'm pretty sure he's doing.
That's an excellent question. I'm sure it is.
The whole thing. But talking about it as I'm looking it up, the soundtrack was really good for this episode as well as it has been throughout these episodes.
Give him a movie. I'm ready.
Yeah, give him a movie. I really like the theme for the Skeleton Crew proper, and I really like the pirate theme that they do.
Very good.
Very menacing, very very piratey.
You can do some swashbuckling to that theme for sure. I think it's certainly got to be Mick Giacchino. I don't know why they'd like switch composers.
Yeah, they
Deep
would.
into a show, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this score has been great. It's one of those where I haven't actually added any to my playlist yet. If it's out, I'm sure it is, but it will be on my playlist. That's not always the case with like the Disney Plus shows, just because sometimes I'm going through I have this Star Wars playlist or scores and soundtracks playlist. Sometimes I don't know. It's here and there. It's hit and
Yeah.
miss. Even the scores I like. This one has been pretty great
Yeah,
throughout.
and I actually like it when they drop it on to like social media, like Instagram, so I can add it to the posts. And I think the Skeleton
Yeah.
Crew one is the ones that they have so far are pretty good. I think it's just the theme. I think they might have added one more, but confirmed. Mick Giacchino. Shout out to Sean Porter, who's done cinematography, since I'm looking at it right now, and the editing, Catherine Naranjo, if that's how you're pronouncing her name.
The
correctly.
Showtime Sean Porter. That's awesome.
Is that
Yeah,
who it
they've
is?
I don't know, that's a boxer, but yeah.
Oh,
Um
gotcha.
yeah, I mean, I what do you think, man? How'd you feel? I'm gonna do role reversal here.
You're gonna ask
Search
me.
your feelings.
I will search
How
my
do you feel
feelings.
about episode 7? You're
So
gonna be in so much trouble.
yeah, so I watched the episode twice. First watch, I'll go off of that. I was very locked in because I had a lot of questions that I wanted answered, and I feel like we didn't get those questions answered, but we got a little closer to the answer to all those questions.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We're back at At-Attin. Jod has taken his full villain role. And if you watch our previous episodes of Skeleton Crew, which I highly recommend, our predictions are wrong. So, but
As usual.
as per usual, but I liked it. I'm not gonna give it a number. I think we'll give a score for the whole entire show, but I liked it enough. I think this show is gonna be better bingeable, to be perfectly honest. This episode feels like I wanted the other half, the other 30 minutes, or hopefully 40, 45 if possible, but it does feel like the middle, they cut it there, because there was another cut where I thought it was going to end, and I was like, oh, we're still going. When I looked at the runtime is about 30 minutes or so, it does feel a little bit longer than that, the way that it's written and paced, but
I agree.
but I didn't hate it. It's not my favorite, but I did enjoy my time watching it. I just really want to get to the end. I really want these answers. And if we don't get answers, man, I'm gonna be upset. But I think we will. I don't think we're gonna have no answers at the end of the season. What about you?
I feel pretty similar. I will admit, this episode more than most in this series. There are a couple things that kind of annoyed me, but I did like the
Okay.
episode. I still would give it a green, right? It'd still
Yeah.
be I'd
Fresh.
still give it a positive score. It'd be fresh, certified fresh. I do like how we approached the episode. I like that, we ended up on AT-AT, and it wasn't just like, oh, we're in space for another 30 minutes and
Right.
somehow,
Right.
you know
Right.
what I mean? We did progress too. And they did further the mystery in ways, right? With
Yeah.
when they end up on At-Attin and how that happens and where they go. It answers some questions there, or really confirms them. Uh, we get to see a lot. We get to see Jod go back to being Captain Silvo. We
Yeah.
get to be we see some of those pirate storylines. Some of them conclude, right? Some of them
Yeah.
progress. I thought the episode was all right. I would put it in like the middle of the pack, I think, as far as the series. Maybe middle lower, but
Oh,
I
interesting.
agree with how it cut off. Like it did certainly feel like you got a chocolate bar and it's one bar, but you ripped it in half so you
Yeah.
can save some for later.
Oh,
It
sure.
didn't feel
Sure.
like it did feel like kind of an abrupt end to the
Yeah.
episode, but we got one more. I'm a little nervous that it's season 1 that I don't know. He takes
Yeah.
Wim on the ship and he flies away, and then it's like, oh, now we gotta go. Season 2, they gotta go find
Oh, I hope
Jod or
not.
something. Me too. But my thing is, I just don't know where they go story
Yeah.
wise. So if it is a
Yeah.
season 2, I'm sure they have a plan. I hope they have a plan. But yeah, that's my slight reservation.
Yeah, I mean, Jod taking Wim and them going on an adventure, I actually don't want to see. I don't want to see that at all. Because To be perfectly honest, they're probably two of the less compelling characters on the show that I would want to follow into a season 2. I like the cast of kids,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
that's one thing I didn't really think about having a season 2. Like, what's the storyline for season 2?
Sure.
So I'm a little
Hey,
nervous about that part, but
how about Neil's dad? Man, Neil's gonna grow up to be big and strong with some
heck yeah,
tusks.
dude.
Man,
Heck yeah.
he was yoked.
Yeah, he was, and that furrowed eyebrow, he looked super angry. I was like,
Hey,
good thing he's not down there with them in the vault, because I don't think
well,
John
hey,
would be
you
able
know
to
what?
take
Looks
him.
can be deceiving. You know,
That's true.
maybe he's, that's why Neil's mom is out there, and she showed up. You know, she was ready to roll.
Yeah, dude.
I love
So
that scene.
it opens with them, and as I was watching this scene, I was like, I'm really glad we don't really stick with the parents for too long on the show.
Yeah,
It's probably like 10% maybe of the show, maybe 5% of the show, and the times we do check in with them, let's just get it over with because I want the adventure. If it was any longer, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to see the parents anymore, because I
I
don't
think
think.
that's great. Yeah,
Yeah, I think just the minimal amount that we're getting is a good amount, a decent amount. But yeah, they were trying to get that
the
buoy up, and
message, the
yeah,
ET ship going up.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I was very surprised that with usually the way they've done it in the past in shows and movies, I feel like the kids just kind of take the personalities of their parents. And Neil's mom seems to be like very brave and very courageous.
absolutely. That's a good point. I was gonna go there too. Yeah, she was the first one. Like, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah.
Just pew, done.
what
But
if she like disarms John? Like, just like disarms him, and then
what if she just pulls out some Krav Maga or something?
Yeah.
Just
with her trunk, man. You don't know.
she
We don't
pulls
know.
her. What if she has a lightsaber in her trunk and she's just like, an R2 shoots out the saber in episode 6, and just that's it.
That would be a little too far. That would be a little too far. But they do a whole Avengers Endgame run with the orb, and they're getting stunned down and passing it along. I was very impressed that only Wendell was the one who fell forward and dropped it. And getting it up into the sky, we see it later that it was like a transmission of their, like, a recording of them talking to their kids. Very touching moment. And the kids seemed very surprised to see their parents leaving a message. It was interesting because even in that message, and we'll jump around a little bit, but they're like, oh, there's a Republic emissary who knows the location of At-Attin who could get you back, but don't talk to anybody else. Try to find a Republic emissary. I was like, that's very interesting. So
Very
the
interesting.
Republic knows that there's dataries here, unless this emissary is not a Republic official.
I had two thoughts on that.
Yeah.
My initial thought was that emissary is probably dead hundreds of years ago, if not more, thousands of years
you
ago,
think?
maybe.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's a chance. That was my initial thought. Like, what if this is Old Republic stuff and they think they're making, these credits for the Old Republic?
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting if that doesn't exist at all. And I think the chance of that is if our reveal in the final episode is that there is no supervisor, and it's like, oh,
Oh no, supervisor.
because they said, yeah, because we've been doing this. We have 1,000+ vaults, and we've been storing this, and no one's here to pick it up because no one's looking for it. They're all dead. They're all
I
gone.
didn't catch that. Yeah.
So that's something I thought about. Like, okay, I'm starting to feel like there's not going to be a reveal. There's no supervisor. We're going to the supervisor. Where is he? I don't know. The message,
It sounds like
it
automated.
all seemed a recording. So that was my first thought. But if not, yeah, that would be my second thought of like, okay, what if Hux's dad, what's his name? I'm forgetting his first name, but what if he, Armitage, Brendelin Hux, something like that.
Yeah, okay,
What if he shows up? He's like, oh yeah,
I'm here to pick up. I'm here to pick up the money. Yeah, because I mean that could answer how the First Order is able to like make Starkiller Base, and how the Emperor has all these ships. Building all of that. That's not free, right?
No.
So they might be trying to explain the payroll side of the First Order, which would be cool. I think it would be cool.
I think it would be cool too.
There was a little nod to, I got a bad feeling about this. Neil's mom was about to say it. She gets cut off. They jump around. I didn't write too much. Like, we're not going to do a whole scene for scene. Just the kind of things that I liked. Where Neil was talking about when they were getting tractor beamed. He's like, we're dead meat. We're pirate meat. It's like, oh, Neil.
Neil. My guy, Neil.
The one thing I didn't like, there was one shot of Wim again crying. And man, they're just doing my boy Neil dirty, or Wim
Yeah,
dirty,
a
man.
whim. Yeah, they're doing him no favors.
He hasn't had a hero moment, and I don't think we're gonna get one because all the parents are there
No.
now. But there's a time when he's looking out the window and he's like sad that he's like, when we go back, I have to take the assessment still, and I forgot about that. Right?
Me too.
And I was like, oh, that sucks. Frame's like, it'll be fine. And it was weird because the way they framed that scene, and maybe it was just an oversight, but she's like directly behind him, and usually characters don't cover other characters. And I was like, couldn't you just have her like kind of on the side and make the shot of two? But
I didn't even notice that. I got to go back and watch it.
yeah, that part was because it looked like she was gonna. I know she wasn't, but like stab him in the back. You know, it was like such a awkward shot. But that's just a little thing. And then they cut to like Jod arguing with the pirates about finding out, and they actually get there first, right? And they're like, oh, it's a maelstrom. Well, yeah. There's no planet here. Let's leave. That's what Brutus wanted to do. And Jod's like, no, it's there. And then
he's like, you fool, basically,
yeah,
you
idiots. I think he says they're stupid, or he calls them dumb, which we've been saying a lot lately. Because it's like, if it's not in front of them, they just don't. There's just
not there.
Yeah, they just don't know. In that scene, they send off Glurb, one of the pirates there, who was promised an ocean. And because they asked for a volunteer, and he was the volunteer. It was cool. He had like a cool helmet, like it was almost X-wing, just kind of make sure his like tentacles get out. But he goes into the maelstrom, and poor guy doesn't make it.
It's zapped. He gets hit with a bug zapper.
Yeah, and Jod goes, maybe we should send in another. They're like, put him in the airlock.
Get out of here.
I actually like that beat quite a bit.
I did too. But the kids saved him, in a way.
Yeah.
They come zooming in.
Yeah, they came zooming in. They're still calling it the Onyx Cinder, not the Silver Cinder. But they're like, oh, the thrusters are so old, There's things about it that isn't up to date. So they suss it out. Jod he finally thinks about it. He's like, oh, it's a skeleton key. And I'm like, oh, thus the name Skeleton Crew. Because a skeleton key usually opens up many doors, right? And this is the one key they need to get onto the planet. So I was like, that's what it means for a skeleton. Or another meaning, because we were talking about how you can fly a ship or have a ship with a limited amount of hands. And I think it's leaning towards more of a skeleton key thing, which was very, very clever, because they said Tack Renard probably stole it, right? Maybe he killed the emissary, and now that's how he can get to the planet. Maybe he was the emissary for a while, right?
Could have been.
Would you want to see a flashback to that?
I would. Yeah, okay. Definitely.
I could see that being like a season 2 opener.
Yeah, I could see that too. I'm trying to think of them. It's been a while since I've seen Treasure Planet. Didn't they have a quick flashback of like the old captain with like, or maybe it's through storytelling. I think it's through telling stories actually. I kind of already did that, but I'd be down for that. Let's see them. There's still some questions over like, I mean, okay, the ship was crash landed. Yeah. When they went there, had he made that trip before? Had he not?
At-Attin was established. Yeah.
I mean, the ship seemed mostly intact. You know what I mean? So it's not like
upside down.
I mean, I suppose it could have been shot down.
But remember, they're dead on there, and there's that full-on track. Oh, but if it was tractor beamed, it would have landed in one of those.
I would have thought so. Yeah, so like the automated landing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many ways that it could have ended up lodged in there.
Is her name Hanya? The girl, the other dystopian planet, the Fallout planet. Yep. They had a big gun. I know, that's what I was thinking of too. So they could have shot it down and thought it was down for good.
You think they're gonna use that? I'm sure they have a big gun too.
Ooh, that's actually interesting.
You know what I mean?
If the ship shows up through the maelstrom, but how would they get through the barrier? How would the? I don't think that we're gonna see the.
They'll use the Force.
Yeah, the old lady on the ship, she's actually a Force wielder. Still could be Jod's mom.
What's she doing? She's just like, her eyes are closed and she's putting her hand on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, she's the one who's been saving Jod this whole time. I still think it's his mom. I think that's gonna be a reveal.
I wouldn't. That's actually, yeah.
It seems like such a dumb thing, but it's possible.
But I could see it happening for sure. I could see it
because we still haven't got Jod's backstory. That's still missing.
We have to get, unless like that's a season 2 thing, But
oh my god,
I hope not.
I was gonna ask, do you think we're gonna get a backstory? We keep saying in the next one. It's been
if you're betting on black, you got to keep betting on black, and I'm gonna keep putting my chips there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say yes
Okay.
until I'm out,
Until
which I have a week.
yeah,
You
you have
know.
one more week.
No, I mean, I was just thinking, like, okay, I'm assuming they have that big gun there. I feel like pointing it out in the other episode but not using it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's laying groundwork. That's like typical seed planting for
Yeah.
the future. Whether they actually use it or not, I don't know. Maybe they change their mind. Who knows? But I
Yeah.
feel like it's got to be used. So, and if it's a finale, you got this big old ship. Something's got to happen. Maybe the barrier goes down. Maybe,
That's what I was
you
wondering
know,
if the barrier goes down.
think that'd be interesting. And if it does go down, not to be wrong again here, but maybe some people swoop in. Maybe we get some X wings. I don't know. There's a lot of money in there. Who knows? Someone's got it. Someone's got to show
There's a
up.
lot of money in there. There's a lot of money in there.
1,039 volts or
It
whatever.
was 1,139, which I think is a reference to 1138, the George Lucas. Is it a film? I
Yeah.
think?
Either way, like that's
It's a
that
reference.
money is
Oh, yeah.
that's a lot of volts, man.
Well, and that one vault was huge.
It's huge, and that's why I think there's no one there. So I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
they're
no
just
one's there. Yeah.
like you're just working to work at this point. And especially when the Onyx Cinder arrives and it goes into that automated sequence, it seems like it's all automated, but nobody had seen that before, it seemed.
Oh
Like
yeah,
everybody seems shocked.
yeah. They're like, oh, there's a ship here. Yeah, like they've
Yeah.
never seen a ship before.
But at the same time, like, I mean, when the parents came down, it's not like they seemed surprised, like, oh my God, what is all this? They know. Because there was that quick line I think they had where like they weren't supposed to know in graduation. I think in their
Yeah,
message,
yeah.
something like
The
that.
dad said it.
Um,
Yeah,
so I wonder how much do they know? But it seems like there is a mystery here.
but I think you're right. I think if it was a normal thing, people wouldn't be like, oh, a ship's coming down.
Yeah.
I think they would just be like, oh, this is like normal. But I don't. I think you're
And
right. I don't think
you
anyone's
know
picking
what?
them
I'm
up.
gonna bring something else up real quick. The thing that annoyed me a bit with this episode, it's just a little bit of massaging with the droids. I think they have set up the droids in the series to be a certain thing, very particular with protocol, very specific with what you can and can't do. You're holding something behind your back. We need to sniff that out. John comes in
Oh
acting
right.
like a fool, like a complete fool. He doesn't seem like he
Oh
knows what he's doing.
yeah.
I just assumed there would be like more structure to this, and the droids seem like very foolish, and he can kind of do anything he wants. I suppose maybe it's because of rank, but like it just feels like there should be. I don't know. It just felt to me like there should be more there.
I know what you're saying, but what I thought it was there is an actual person supervisor. And they're like, "Oh
Should
yeah,
be.
just come on down. Just come on down.
Yeah.
You can." And it's just, we're going to arrest you when you get here, or we're going to kill you when you get here. That's what I
Oh,
thought
you
it
mean
was.
like when they're letting Jod in?
Yeah.
Oh, they're sort
You're
of like
like, "Oh,
trapping him.
sure, we'll play along with this ruse." Like, "Yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be
come
it.
on down.
Yeah.
We'll let you look at the money, but you're not leaving. The ship is locked in, so he's not going anywhere,
It is
right?"
locked in. I did notice that too. Yeah. Yeah.
But here's, I think, what's the twist. This is my prediction. Everybody down there's up. Like Superintendent Farah, Wendell, the kids, they went out. They left the barrier. This is heavy punishment where it's like you're dead. You're locked up forever. You're dead. And then
Uh,
now the
see.
parents and the kids have to just leave At-Attin forever.
Hmm.
And that is our Skeleton Crew season 2.
They're gonna stumble upon.
They've seen too much.
They've seen too much, but like
But
it
they
seems
didn't
like the
seem
parents already know.
surprised. But they didn't seem surprised
they
to
already
see
know.
it. So what secret is
They
there?
know what
really?
they're analyzing money and stuff, and they know,
Yeah, yeah.
like what they're doing.
But that's how I would
Uh,
write it. That's all I'm saying is just that's how I would write it.
that's just me.
That's just me.
But the good thing is like I am still engaged with the mystery of this. I'm so excited to see like how this does play out.
But what I think though is he's not allowed to leave. I don't think Jod's going to be allowed to leave because
I
they're
think
like,
that's a good
you've
point.
seen too much. You know there's too much money down here. You're not going to be able to leave with this information. Everyone who's here is already a part of the great work, right? And we're all cool. We don't leave though.
Yeah.
We stay.
My thing too is when you think about okay, so he arrived on the Onyx Cinder, right? It's a pretty small ship. I feel like I feel like maybe he's gonna be disappointed because like, oh no, you can't. The droids are like, you don't leave with the money. You just come here to check it or something because that ship
Oh,
doesn't
right.
look like it's made
To
to
carry.
transport
Yeah, you're right.
funds. Like it would be unrealistic for that ship
Yeah.
to arrive to this mint.
Yeah.
So maybe that will be the like Like
Oh, they're
he's,
like,
I
you
mean,
don't leave with batteries.
yeah, he looked like a fool when he was, the money was falling, and
Yes.
he's obviously captured by this. He's a pirate. He's
Yeah.
captured by the greed of the gold and the
Yeah.
shininess of it and all that. But so that's another thing that I think may happen. Because what do you? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a couple crates, bring them back to the government. Like I'm gonna disperse this into the galaxy. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, that doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't make sense either. Yeah, I don't think there's any way Jod's leaving with any money. I mean, he could leave with some money, but I also think the idea is he's not. He's actually in a
He's
trap. I think he's trapped.
he's done a few fairly irredeemable feeling things. He cut off our boy's head, SM-33. That was pretty rough.
I think SM-33 is fixable, but yes, he did cut out his
You
head
know what I
off.
mean? That's pretty. It's pretty mean.
Yeah.
And then obviously he shot Brutus. That was fine. Here's one thing I expected when they started playing the message from the parents. I for some reason I was like, okay, are some of these pirates gonna get a soft spot? Like, oh,
Oh yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? I was like, I don't. It's not that I expected it, but I was curious if
yeah.
they're gonna be like, wow, Jod, you're a real a hole. What are you kidnapping these kids for?
Yeah.
Even before that, SM-33 did have that moment. I'm curious what you thought about it.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was very cute, right? But
I agree.
do you mind if I go back just a little bit before
Of
that?
course.
They're walking. They capture the ship. They tractor beam the ship. Like the kids think that they're there or home, going home, but they get tractor beamed. And it's funny because in this moment, Brutus and Jod are having a back and forth. He's like, "I'm gonna kill you when I get a chance," and Jod's like, "They love me though. You're not good.
Yeah.
The crew loves me." He like said it multiple times, and Brutus is like, "I'm gonna kill you." But the thing is, I'm like, Brutus, you had multiple times to kill this guy and you didn't do it, so it ain't happening, my guy. It's not
No,
happening.
no, that's his own fault. You
Yeah.
could have killed him back in the brig. You didn't have to take him hostage.
Yeah. They're just airlocked
Just-
him. Just instead of commanding someone to do it, I'll push him myself.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Get this guy out
Like
of
you
here.
got the directions. I got him now. Bye.
Yeah,
I don't need you. I don't need you.
But again, they lean into like the pirates are dumb, and that includes
Yeah,
Brutus too.
pretty much.
That includes Brutus too. And when he gets grabbed, I like how they show Jod uncuffing himself with the Force, and
Yeah.
he grabs the blaster, and then I actually like this scene a lot where he just blasts him because again,
I liked it too.
Brutus was threatening him just right before. He's like, "I'm gonna kill you when I get a chance." Well, good luck with that because you're dead. He calls him a stinking backstabbing mutineer, right? He's like, "This guy's a traitor. It's treason. You guys are gonna be with me, right? Because otherwise, you're gonna get airlocked or gonna get blasted just like Brutus." But I was very excited to see the Silvo helmet because I think it's a great look.
I agree. It's
The
a cool.
helmet.
It's a cool helmet. I put that on the shelf for sure.
Yeah. The voice modulation's cool. They see the transmission. Fern's like, "We gotta take the ship back. We gotta get home." Jod's greedy. She's like, we could probably, she says, "We even," and then Wim's like, "Attack!" And he just runs
Wim,
the hole. No.
you fool.
Funny moment. I laugh, and I
Funny.
laughed the
It
second
was
time when
funny.
I saw it. But I'm like, oh, this kid, man. And they get captured. And it's funny because Kona doesn't even really try. She just like grabs him because he's so little.
Yeah, but
She's like, "You're not gonna do anything."
You can one arm him.
Yeah, and they're talking about who's the captain of the ship. SM-33 is like, "Well, the pirate code, Captain Jod, is you can't be the captain of the frigate and
Yes.
the Onyx Cinder. You gotta only be one." It's just so arbitrary these pirate code rules are, because it comes out where Fern goes, unclaimsies, and she says,
Yep.
only kids can claim it. That's the new rule. And SM-33, take care of these guys. And Silvo's like, or John's like, "Please." And then he gets punched. Another funny moment. Another great
He's
moment.
like, good
And
enough. Close enough.
Yeah,
Bam.
bam. And so I was like, dude, I like SM-33. I think he's up there in some of my favorite droids. And I'm leaning towards number 2 after Chopper.
Wow.
I'm leaning that way.
Wow.
I'm leaning that way.
I would have never, if you would have told me how much I love SM-33 and the first time we saw him, I would have called you crazy. But that's a great thing. He really he had a great arc over the season. I'll say that. When I was reflecting on the episode yesterday,
Mhm.
I was thinking, man, maybe it would have been cool if like KB did alter his circus or something, or alter the code where it's like, oh, actually the code's changed, or whatever. That'd be, but like that would be cool. But I also think it's nice that 33 does have his own conscious.
Yeah.
He's sentient. He's not
Correct.
just a robot.
Yeah.
And with the pirate codes, they've always been bendable. You think about like Pirates of the Caribbean, they're like Tortuga's more of a guideline than rules, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever they say. And so I thought it was a cool moment. It was funny, and it still called back to the original, the first episode. So
Yeah.
I was into that too. It
Yeah, I
was
think
fun.
there's like his design's really cool. It's Nick Frost. The lines are good. He's funny. You know, I like him more than K2SO. I'm not. I mean, R2D2 is so classic. It's so hard to like go not like R2 or even BB8. But for me, I really like SM33 that much. Where he's probably
He's got a lot of
top three.
personality.
Yeah, a lot of personality for sure. They get thrown off the ship. They don't show SM33 fighting all the pirates. They're all just knocked out, Jod included. There's a crack in the helmet. So sad. Jod removes it, and he's like, God, he gets all mad. Very villain-like already at this point, too, right? Because,
Yeah,
he was like, oh, having the kids as hostages is great. Like, it's a pretty good bargaining chip. Like, hey, we're going to, there's some multiple pirates on the Onyx Cinder, right, if they got down there. And your kids are hostage. Like, don't even try anything funny. You might be able to get away with money, right, at that point. But he gets knocked out or knocked off and finds his way back on, as we see later.
one thing I kind of have thought about as we've seen him wield the lightsaber a couple times now, even briefly,
Yeah.
he seems to wield it like it's a stick. Like he doesn't seem like he has like
Yeah.
lightsaber training, right? It just like
Yeah.
it's like a torch you kind of wave around when you're
Yeah.
trying to scare a critter or something,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting.
I was gonna mention that. Is it intentional or is it we didn't train Jude Law to wield the lightsaber? Like I'm not sure because initial watching it, I was
Yeah,
like, this looks so awkward. Him holding it
it
and
does.
kind of like threatening them and waving it around the way he was. Because I'm like, this is
I just feel
an
like
elegant
he's a good
weapon.
enough actor, and like John Watts is. I trust him enough that I don't think that would be an oversight. Like wielding a lightsaber, I feel like it's pretty intentional,
Yeah.
and it would be pretty integral to the character if he did know. Like I just feel like that's a character thing that I don't. Obviously, we don't know these people personally, but I just like just from watching enough, you would just figure that if that was like something that his character knew how to do
Yeah.
well, I feel like it would be there. We could be wrong. I could be wrong,
I
but
know what you're saying because Jude Law is a
yeah,
great actor, so
he
he
is.
would be like, I should know if my character was a Jedi, I shouldn't have some Jedi training, but now I'm thinking he has none. The way
Same.
he's wielding the lightsaber,
Just the force, I think. He's got, I mean, Broom Kid could pull the lightsaber to his hand if he wanted
actually
to,
true.
you know?
I would have said this is Broom Kid, but that's later. Like
This is dad.
Broom Kid's dad
Who knows
left
how
him on,
many kids
lost him,
he's got around?
lost him on a bet on Canto Bite. Oh, that's horrible. But yeah, I did think that I wrote as a note. I'm like, I don't like how
Yeah.
he's waving it around because it feels like I don't know what this is, but I know it could do damage, and so I'll just kind of
Yeah.
wiggle around in front of your face. So that to me the threat wasn't as bad because I've seen more threats in Star Wars media with a lightsaber, and this is the way he's using it is non-threatening for me.
Ben held it more threatening, at least
Yeah.
initially. He
Better
had some sort of
forms.
stance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better forms. But one cool thing about them going through the barrier, because the kids get away from the ship and they start going through, and I don't know what
Oh,
you would
yeah.
call it, the satellites
Oh,
or whatever were turning from red to green as it was going, and this is where they mentioned the ship was probably stolen from
is that
At-Attin.
is that how the frigate gets through? Are they turned off briefly or something?
I would assume they would go from green to red because there's another ship that's close by, and he's like, kids pull up, boom, and then he gets
That's
exploded.
true. I just feel like once it went green,
You think they're shut off? I don't know.
maybe. I don't know
I really
either.
think that they might get shut off eventually, and then the frigate gets through, and now
Yeah.
At-Attin is susceptible to attack. That would be my prediction for
That's a
that
good.
stuff.
It's probably. I think that would make for a cool visual.
Two things I forgot to mention. Glurb's death reminded me of Porkins' death from the
Yep.
original trilogy. So shout out to Porkins. Shout out to Glurb.
Out of Porkins.
The Maelstrom reminded me. It was kind of like in Rebels. Lothal is. I can't remember if Lothal's in a Maelstrom as well, or not Lothal. Sorry, Zeb's planet. Like Zeb's people had to retreat to a new planet, and there was like a storm there. I can't remember if it was like that portion of the galaxy, but I knew it was like a harder place to find. Or even Kylo Ren trying to find
That's what I thought of going Exegol. Going
Exegol.
through the maelstrom. You need and remember they needed the Sith Wayfinder
the
to
Wayfinder.
navigate
Yeah.
the. Yeah.
So that's what I thought of those two when going through the maelstrom. And it's interesting because there's like there is light. I don't know if this might have just been an oversight, but there is
Oh
light because they
yes.
showed on the kid's face, so there must be a star of some kind that could penetrate the barrier.
My brother was like, "Is the sun in here? Like,
Yeah,
this is a very bright light." He's like, "There is sun right next to this planet."
possibly, possibly. Yeah, maybe.
It was smaller than I expected. When I don't remember if we saw it really well when they left the planet, but when they get through the maelstrom, the whatever it is, it's a it's just a little planet right there.
Yeah, it's
And
just
I
a
was
little.
laughing because I was like, "Man, that it looks pretty small." And then the next line, she's like, "It what did she say? It's huge or
Yeah.
whatever." I'm like, oh,
Well, I thought when we were on the planet in the first few episodes, I thought it was the atmosphere like was a
same.
barrier. I didn't know it was like a gas
Me
giant
too.
around. Now I was thinking, do the satellites produce the maelstrom
Like it
as
has to.
well? And I would think it would have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did say, I think they're intentionally hidden or intentionally destroyed, but like, if you got this mint, I think you'd want to
You
protect
gotta
and
hide
hide
that.
that.
You gotta hide the
Yeah.
money.
Too many scoundrels out here.
Too many people out here trying to take that stuff that's not theirs. But Jod calls them. I thought the words were interesting. He called them sheltered and spoiled. There is a rumor going around that, and I don't think this is possible. But if Jod was around for Order 66, he's one of the kids in the rooms that Anakin attacks. But I'm like, we already had like a Reva storyline on
No.
that, so I'm like, I don't want it to be that.
Yeah, and Grogu.
And yeah,
Like we don't need that. We don't need that. I think it would be cool if he was affected by the Clone Wars in some way, but
right,
not on Coruscant. Just
right,
wherever he was.
yeah.
That could be a cool thing.
Yeah, and we talked
Um,
about that in previous episodes. I was like, I'm thinking
yeah.
of like when Kanan Jarrus and his master were attacked by the Order 66 clones, and he escapes. I was hoping Jod would do that, but now the way he's using a lightsaber, I'm like, he can't be out on the field, not like this.
Yeah, I think more so like, or even like person. I don't know. He's just
Oh, I see
he's
what
just
you're
a
saying.
person, and he was affected by. He got abandoned by whatever it was, But like, oh, that was the war, is a galactic war, and
Yeah, and that's actually one interesting thing too. You saying that Din Djarin, Mandalorian, he was.
yep,
I loved that. Actually,
good
it's
pull.
probably one of my favorite things in Mando, where it's like the battle droids were right there,
Yeah,
and just like
and he hated
big and
droids, and it
grand.
made
Yeah, it
sense.
made sense. So maybe Jod got attacked by Jedi's.
Pong Krell showed up.
Oh no! It's like I hate guys with multiple arms. Another interesting thing before they get down to the vaults, we see another mural in the office that the parents are quote unquote arrested in. We have an angelic figure, not angelic, but like a female figure who looks more divine, and then there's two like kneeling at her feet. They look dressed like Mon Mothma. They look dressed like Princess Leia in New Hope.
I didn't
Very.
even notice it.
Yeah. More murals, right? There's like a lot of
Yeah,
these murals around. So there's like something going on, man. There's something going on with the iconography around At-Attin.
interesting.
The supervisor's voice is credited to Stephen Fry, who
Yeah,
voiceover for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think he was a narrator,
interesting.
but it might just be a voice. It does feel, I don't know if recency bias, but it does feel Wizard of Oz a little bit. Feels a little Wizard of Oz-y to me.
It does. I agree.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm still just holding on to this feeling that it's
It's
nothing.
nobody.
Nobody, but yeah,
One thing I thought of is when they went down into the vault. So the ship gets tractor beamed, locks into place. Intentionally, they show the legs get locked, like double
yep,
locked in. So I'm like, that ship's not going anywhere. Some people said like it's very X-Men where it opens
it
up.
is. Yeah,
The looking up, I know it's like, oh, we're going down. So it's a callback to episode
mm,
1 or 2, the mines, right? It looked
yes,
very imperial.
it did. Yes,
But as it goes down, when they show like the glowing ball in the middle, they said that's like a treasure planet thing. But I thought when I first initially saw it, I was like, is this like a droid hive mind? Like there's just this one big droid that's like, money, we're making money, we're making money, and it's like all messed up in the head. That's what I thought it was at first when I saw it, but it wasn't that.
who knows what is going on here? Sometimes all you need to do is destroy an antenna. You know, it happens all the time in Star Wars. But I like where we're at. It's really exciting getting to do this every week. I'm a little sad that this is the penultimate week, you
Yeah.
know? I am way more excited for this final episode than I thought I would be.
Okay.
Not like, and I've liked the show.
Yeah.
I guess I just like at this point there's still so many questions, and I do think we're gonna get answers to most of them, if not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. One gripe I had, and second watch, I liked the way Jude Law was like, I'm gonna slowly pick off this one dattery. I did not like the CG falling over. I like the concept of him putting his head in it, of course, but
Yeah.
it just, the physics on it took me out of the moment because I'm like, they're not gonna fall like that. Like it just seems so.
Felt a little like Desolation of Smaug, you know, when they're
Yeah.
going through the all the loot and everything's all CG. It did feel like that, but it was more jarring because it didn't match up great.
Yeah.
The physics of it,
The
but
physics. Yeah. They're like falling too slow, and it was like they wouldn't continue to fall. But that's just
I didn't mind that. But like, I do think that just we get back to the end, a little abrupt. Is John Watts doing the finale?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like he is, but
I would assume. I would
yeah.
assume so. I thought the ending was gonna be when he's looking out of the window of the Onyx Cinder before they get to At-Attin, where he's like, "You guys are spoiled and sheltered," and then, he's looking out the window. I thought it was gonna end there, and I was like, "Oh, cool, it's still going. We had another few minutes." Oh, one other thing that I thought was gonna happen. I think it's called like Snowball or Snowflake, the little creature after the decapitation of.
Oh yes.
I thought he was gonna step on him.
Same, dude.
I'm glad I'm not.
I was like, no. I got all antsy. I'm like, no.
And it's not like I care about the little creature. I was gonna be like, this is gonna be really graphic if he just boots down this little rat thing, but he just kicks it.
You know what? I oddly would have cared about that little guy.
Wow.
Oddly, not just because it's an extension of SM33 for me. It's
Sure.
like, something about it.
I wish he was included a little bit more, because the funniest thing that he did was the key bit where he was like key and scratching, and then that was pretty much it. Like, you don't really see much more of it, but I understand what you're saying. It is a part of SM33 because there's one that comes out of another droid eye in the previous episode, which makes Wim think about SM33. But yeah, I was like, just don't step on this creature, please.
Yeah, that was gonna be. I was ready for that sound to come out of my speakers. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Prediction: is the next episode going to be longer than 30 minutes?
With credits, yes.
Without credits?
If I had to put $20 on it, no.
Ah, dang it.
28. 28 is
28
is my guess.
Okay. Do you still think we end on a cliffhanger?
Yes.
Do you think the skeleton crew, meaning the 4 kids, are they separated at the end?
I hope not, but I fear that maybe if they have season 2 plans, I think perhaps, but I hope not. It feel very like, oh, we're this is starting to sound, and I'm not saying they're similar at all in shows, but the Acolyte, it ends in a cliffhanger where one of the people goes off on a separate adventure, but they're seemingly back on a collision course.
Yeah.
I'll say no.
You think they'll all stay together?
I'm wishfully yes.
Okay.
I am going to say yes. That's what I think. What about you?
I think us now talking about it, I think John could potentially kidnap Wim. But why? He doesn't like Wim, though. He said, "You're the worst.
He doesn't.
You are the worst." Oh, you know what? Actually, he could take Fern.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like if he's gonna take someone, maybe. Yeah, he could.
Because Fern seems the most. They had conflict, right? So there is a relationship in that way there. I could see Fern being a pirate down the line, which I think would be fun.
I see that
in some way. Because I was like, Wim. I was like, could Wim be? And I was like, no, Wim's too naive.
Yeah.
But he could also have he might. Do you think Wim will have a hero moment in this last episode? Like a true saving Fern, saving Neil moment.
Yes.
Saving his dad.
I think he's had too many whiffs,
so
throughout
many.
the season.
So many
whiffs. And it's not even like good idea. No, they're just good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned whiffs.
By the way, he did do a thing that I said he should have done, which was he referenced like, oh, in the books it was this. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, he should have been doing that the whole season.
He should have.
And
I agree.
They just kind of like, obviously he was the one kid they don't really, the one character, not kid, because
The character.
I still think he's the main character. But the character that they didn't give enough to do. But that's why I'm expecting something big in this last episode.
I see. My thing is, I don't even expect something big at this point. I just expect something to go his way. He does something that maybe he hops on the gun and just hits something.
He could save Jod's life.
Oh.
Or another mess up where he lets Jod go.
Maybe. And look, here's the thing though. What if he's afraid, he wants that adventure back, you know?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's going to be the kids. They go like, we got to go after him. We have to go after him. But there's only one ship there, so I don't know, man.
Who knows? There's so many variables that we like, which is exciting. Which is exciting.
I mean, if we go to the like Wizard of Oz, they try to go talk to the supervisor, and he has a ship. He leaves accidentally with the wind. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
The planet's a ship. It's just another Death Star. It revs up, and the dust, the cobwebs fall off. We already got the core.
That would be insane if At-Attin's a ship. It's a Death Star with all these people on it. Oh, yeah. I'm actually excited because I'm not sure where it's going to go. It's so funny because I feel like it's funneling into something, but I don't know what it is. I mean, we've done multiple podcasts. We've been wrong on most of our predictions, which I think is also a good thing, right? Because it's not predictable.
I agree.
If we were like calling it
that
like
would be
that, like, oh
boring.
Man, yeah.
That's when you fall off a show, when it's too predictable.
But it hasn't been on the nose, and I think they've done enough creatively to still make it interesting. Because again, I think by the end of it, it really is going to have to end well for I think people to recommend the show. Because if it doesn't end well, if it's bad, then I think Star Wars is still in trouble. So it does really need this oomph to kind of say, hey, Disney Plus is still kind of viable for one show a year. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Andor's coming, but Andor costs a lot of money.
And they're only doing one season of Andor. They ain't getting more than, or they're only doing one more. They're only getting these two.
This is it.
This is it. So
it's not like Tony Gilroy. I don't think he's one to, let me do some more here. He's going to do something else.
Dang. They need to give Tony Gilroy a movie.
I
wouldn't mind, actually, just total deviation. I want to, if we're going to get more of, I don't even think this is going to happen, but I was going to say Jyn Erso.
Yeah, why not? If they, well, you're a little
What do you know? What do you know
guess.
that I don't know?
No, I don't know nothing. I mean, she's dead.
No. Well,
gotta go back.
That's the thing.
And you
do Andor, but Erso.
That could be interesting. You know what's funny about that? I just thought to myself, like, I know that story. We kind of know what happens. A lot of people said the same thing about Andor, and we did not. You know, so yeah, I think that could be interesting.
Yeah, give it. If Tony Gilroy's doing it, yes, I'm in.
Hell yeah, I'm on. Yeah,
he could do. He could do whose backstory that I wouldn't care about anything. Dude, like if Tony Gilroy's on it, I'm on it.
Like any of this stuff, you can give me a limited series just about Mon Mothma and politics, and I would be so down. If you just want to keep doing that, maybe it's between episode, I don't know, 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And like whatever you want to do, I'm down. But also, not to deviate too much, this show has been a lot of fun. The show's been a lot of fun. We're just getting excited.
Yeah. Well, because that's the next thing, which is this is coming up too in less than 90, for sure
100 days.
100 days.
Celebration, 100 something days.
Yeah. We're close. We're getting there, man. And you could catch those recaps here on the Reigncore channel, because we're definitely gonna do season 2, episode to episode. We're gonna get Cyril Karn back, Deidre, the love between those toxic people.
Don't even get me started. I'm ready to be on the hate train again. Not really hate, but
more Bix, which is I think one of the strongest female characters. If you watch Andor, definitely go check out the Fan Awakens channel where we did our episode reviews, because because those were good.
They're so fun.
And man,
This has been so fun, but yeah,
yeah,
that was such a good time. Because like this show I like,
yeah,
that show I loved.
yes,
That's an all-time show.
all time great show. And this show is also an all time great show here on the reigncore YouTube channel. Again, you can find all the links in the description, the link tree for reigncore stuff and the link tree for the Fan Awakens stuff. And please check out the upcoming Celebration Cantina videos on the Fan Awaken channel. Me and Eli are doing it. We have plans for more. And again, if you have any questions about it, Eli is going to be the great source for that as a three-peat Celebration con goer. And also me as a Comic-Con convention attender. And I have one celebration under my belt. But we're going to be providing more info on his channel, so make sure you support him there. But with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your galactic day. Punch it, Chewie! Boom! Eradicate.